Hey there guys, and welcome to the first episode of this new series where we're going to be taking a look at how to create some chatbots in C#. And in today's episode we're going to be starting off real simple and slow and actually create a console application that's going to be working with a switch statement, and it's basically one of the simplest ways to make a chatbot in the console application at least. And we're going to be ending up with a program that's something like this, where we are prompted to type in a message, and as we type in hello, it's going to respond with hi. So let's start by creating a new project, and like I said, it's going to be a console application. And if you haven't worked with console applications before, you're going to notice something right away if you try to compile it. And that is that even though it's starting, it actually shuts down, and that's because we haven't actually told the program to do anything yet. So we're just going to solve that by creating a shutdown which is equal to false, and then say while not shutdown, do this. And this is basically a very simple way to say, well, do this an infinite amount of times, so the program actually never stops right now unless we force it to. Or we could say a method down here or something that says, well, now shutdown is equal to true, and then we exit, and then the program exits. But it's a simple way to solve this problem for now, but if you're gonna make a more advanced system, you might want to look into a better way of keeping the program open. So let's start off by creating a few string variables, and the first one is going to be input value, and the next one is going to be output value, and it's going to be equal to nothing. And then we actually want to write console dot write line, and within these parentheses you're going to want to write whatever you want the program to write into the command prompt. So here we might say computer hello, and this is going to result in this showing up here, computer said hello. But if I try to type in something here, nothing is going to happen, so we actually have to tell the program to listen for what the user put in. And we'll do that by saying inside of this while function, saying input value is equal to console.readLine and empty parenthesis. And I could remove the input value and this would still work. Now I can write in something like hello, and a new line will be created. Because remember, we're still inside of this while function here, so this piece of code is going to be running over and over again. Sorry. But I actually want the input value to be there, because I want to save whatever the user types in, because I want to check what kind of response I want to give. And we actually, before we move on here, if I type in hello, I might want it to look like up here where it says computer said hello, and down here it only says hello. So I want to fix that by saying right above this input value is equal to console line, I want to say console.write, and then within the parentheses say user, and that's gonna create the user here, and then I can type in right after, and when I press enter, this is gonna be run over again, and it's gonna type out user and then followed by whatever we typed in, so user and hello, for example. And that's the basics of this program, but now we're gonna move on to the more interesting part, and that's the switch statement. So right underneath this input value is equal to console.readline, put in switch, and then within these parentheses you put input value, because we want to check whatever the user have typed in. And then within this switch statement you type case, and then what word you want to look for, or what sentence you want to look for, and you say something like hello, and actually followed by that, and break it. And basically here what we say is, well, take input value and then check if it's equal to hello, and then do this, and whatever you want the program to do, you put in between case and break. So in here we might want to say output value is equal to, and since we actually typed out hello in the beginning here, we might say something like I've already said hello. So if I run this now and I type in hello, nothing's gonna happen, and that's because I haven't actually, even though I have given the output value this string value, I haven't actually told the program to write out the output value. So I'm going to do that right underneath this switch statement. I'm going to say output value is actually no, I'm not. Sorry, I'm going to say console dot write line, just like up here in the beginning, but within these parentheses I actually instead want to say output value, because remember we said that output value is equal to the response. So if I run this now, it's going to say, if I type in hello, it's going to respond with I already said hello. But again, I want it to look like this, like in the beginning here, computer said hello. So I'm going to solve that by just right above this switch statement, type in console.write computer, excuse me, and yeah, just like up here with the console.write right before the input value. And now everything should look good. Hello, and I already said hello. But if I say something like test, it's going to respond the same way. And that's because even though test is not equal to hello, we haven't actually changed the output value, or we haven't told it to write anything else out if it doesn't find this value inside of this switch statement. And we're going to do that by just saying up here, we're going to create a new variable, which is going to be called something like found response, and say equal to false. And then down here in the beginning of this while statement, just type out found response is equal to false. And actually we don't have to say that it's false up here on the creation, but still say it's false in the beginning of this while function here. And in here, right after the output value, we want to say found response is equal to true, because, well, we found a response to whatever the user have typed in, so of course found response is equals to true. But this doesn't really change, we still give the same output value, so instead we're going to write if found response and do this right underneath the end of the switch statement. And then we're gonna put this inside of this if statement, and if, well, we want to say else console dot write, actually I shouldn't be doing this, I should be doing like this, so you can see a bit better. I'm actually going to say, well, if we have found the response, then say console.write line, this output value. But if we haven't found the response, I'm instead going to say console.write line and say found no response. And if I run this now and type in hello, it's going to say I've already said hello. But if I type in something like test, it's going to say found no response. And that's basically it for making a very simple chatbot in C#. And of course you can make more commands down here. So for example, I can copy this case and just paste it here and say, instead of hello, say bye, and the computer might respond with goodbye. And if I type in bye now, it's gonna say bye, goodbye. But this program has some flaws. So for example, well, I can take that before I end this video, the fact that it only listens to lowercase right now. So if I type in hello with uppercase, it's gonna say found no response, because this is actually case sensitive. So to fix that real quick, we're just gonna go up here into input value equal to console.readline, and right after that just say dot to lower and in parentheses. And basically what this to lower does is just takes this value, the value that the user have typed in, and transform the letters to lowercase. So now if I type in hello with uppercase, it's gonna respond the same way as if I type in hello with lowercase. And yeah, that's about it for today. And if you have any questions or anything at all you want to say, just leave it down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, just like, comment and subscribe, I guess. And hopefully I'll see you in the next tutorial.